but a real-life story from Trinity Debt Management.
Every day I speak with people who are worried and are feeling a lot of pressure because of credit card debt. That's why I'm very proud of what we do at Trinity. We just help. We give people the support they need, along with a real plan to become debt-free. Credit card bills are consolidated into a single monthly payment that is much less than what they were paying before. Most of our members end up saving thousands and even may improve their credit scores by as much as 200 points. I know from the bottom of my heart that I'm making a difference in the lives of the people we help. It just makes me really happy.
If credit card debt has you down, call Trinity at 1-800-936-5496.
My name is Julie, and I'm a Trinity counselor. Call me and become debt-free for keeps.
1-800-936-5496.
Convenience just got an upgrade. Farmers State Bank of Oakley is excited to announce the opening of our brand new ATM along Highway 40, right next to Sonic Drive-In. Whether you're grabbing a snack or on the go, you can quickly access your cash without the detour. It's banking made easy, right where you need it. Farmers State Bank of Oakley, member FDIC.
Coming to you with NWKS Radio News, I'm Connor Schuh. 3 people were reported as injured in an accident just after 11:30 Central Time p.m. last Friday in Norton County. The Kansas Highway Patrol reported a 2010 Dodge Ram 1500 driven by Jonah Black, and it was going westbound on US 36. The driver attempted to turn southbound on a Norton County Upper Dam Road, and he turned into the path of 2018 Toyota RAV4, which was driven by Jesse Ree. The impact caused his pickup to spin. And then EMS had to transport Black and then a passenger in the Dodge, Riley Ankerman, and all 3 of them ended up going to the hospital, Norton County Hospital, and the occupants of the pickup were not wearing seatbelts, according to the KHP. With NWKS Radio, I'm Connor Schuh.
Today we'll have strong northwesterly winds at 25 to 35 miles per hour, gusting to 55, accompanying and following a cold front passage this morning. There'll be difficult travel for high-profile vehicles all day. Blowing dust can be expected in 2 surges, one with the frontal passage and then another mid-afternoon. Potentially reducing visibilities mainly south and west of a line from Benkelman to Colby on highways 36, I-70, and Highway 40. Also, a red flag warning will be issued for Yuma, Kit Carson counties and Cheyenne counties in Colorado and Wallace and Greeley counties in Kansas. Highs will be 60 to 65. Overnight winds will decrease to less than 10 miles per hour. And with clear skies, a frost advisory will be in place for Kansas counties and Nebraska counties along highways 25 and 27, with lows 30 to 35. Tuesday afternoon, it'll be sunny with southwest winds of 5 to 15 miles per hour and highs climbing into the upper 60s. This meteorologist Chris Schromick and the NWKS Radio Weather Center.
Looking for insurance that actually puts you first? At the insurance agency in downtown Goodland, we're independent, which means we work for you. Whether it's auto, home, crop, or business, we shop top carriers to get you the best coverage at the best price. No pushy sales, just honest advice from people who live right here in your community. Give us a call today at 785-899-5011 or stop by 1020 Main in Goodland and let's get you covered. The Insurance Agency. Insurance the way it should be.
If you're shopping for a banking institution, visit with Equity Bank of Hoxie, Grinnell, and Quinter, Kansas. The Equity Bank is heavily invested in local business and activities contributing in many ways back to their community. Their employees are involved with many organizations and area events. Plus, a lot of experience comes with that staff. You'll find valuable local assistance when you bank at the Equity Bank of Hoxie, Grinnell, Quinter, and other locations in Western Kansas. The Equity Bank, member FDIC.
Need a porta potty or septic pumping in Northwest Kansas? Call Topside Portables and Pumping, your local family-owned crew. They've got clean, reliable toilets for weddings, farms, and job sites, plus full septic services, RV waste, fertilizer tanks, and more. Available 24/7, because when nature calls, they answer. Call 785-728-8089. That's 728-8089. Topside Portables and Pumping. Reliable, local, clean.
It's Truck Month at Hurl Chevrolet GMC in Goodland. Get behind the wheel of a brand new 2026 Chevrolet Silverado 1500 with 2.9% APR for 72 months. And if GMC's more your style, you're in luck. Drive home a 25 GMC Sierra Elevation with up to $7,000 in customer cash, or lock in 0.9% APR on a 26 GMC Sierra 1500. Whether it's power, performance, or pure style, Hurl Chevrolet GMC has the truck to match your drive. Visit hurlchev.com or stop by today in Goodland and make this Truck Month one to remember.
This fall, Hoover Lumber Ace Hardware has everything you could need. Keep your lawn strong with Ultimate Winterizer, the best defense before the frost. Warm up your evenings and create memories with a new fire pit. Or bring home the flavor with a great selection of grills and smokers from brands like Traeger, Blackstone, Green Egg, and more. And right now, the lumber prices are low, and so are the temperatures, making it the best season to tackle those outdoor projects. It's Hoover Lumber Ace Hardware with locations in Goodland and Colby. Open every day but Sunday.
Are pests making your home or business uncomfortable? Call Pest Away in Goodland, Kansas, serving all of Northwest Kansas. They provide top-notch pest control services to keep your space safe and pest-free. From ants to rodents, termites to spiders, our expert team is here to help with effective, safe, and affordable pest control solutions. Don't wait. Call Pest Away today at 785-728-7166 for fast, reliable service. Your home or business deserves the best protection.
You ready? Ready? 1, 2, 3, 4! It's time for the Morning Blitz with Ross Volkmer.
The amount of money getting thrown around to quarterbacks who haven't done diddly squat is amazing to me.
And Connor Schuh.
He's the new guy.
The High Plains only local sports talk show, broadcasting live on Goodland's Rocket 102.5 and video streaming on YouTube, Facebook, and X.
Who's got it better than us?
Nobody! Covering it all from the preps.
He's at the 10, the 5, he dives for the end zone, he's in! Touchdown, Cowboys!
To the pros.
Line drive, left field, base hit. Here comes McMahon, he'll score! Ball game!
The Blitz is presented by Hurl Chevrolet GMC, Hoover Lumber Ace Hardware, and F&B Bank. Along with
Equity Bank of Hoxie, Quinter, and Grinnell, the Insurance Agency, Pest Away LLC, Topside Portables and Pumping, and the Farmer State Bank in Oakley.
Let's go to work. They load the right side up again. They single the near side. Todd Rice, touchdown! Kansas City. Rashee Rice, his second touchdown. And is he back, baby?
Nix on a design quarterback run. Bo inside the 10. Bo inside the 5. Touchdown, Denver! Holy mackerel. The Broncos are an extra point away from putting 30 on the Giants in the fourth quarter. Snap, placement, kick on the way. It is good! Bronco players celebrating like they just won a home playoff game. And why not?
Pop up, buckle up for Game 7 tomorrow night.
And good Monday morning, everybody. We are back and rolling on the Morning Blitz, broadcasting Goodland's Rocket 102.5, NWKSradio.net. The Hurl Chevrolet GMC video stream on YouTube, Facebook, and X. Ross Volkmer, Connor Schuh, ready to get another week rolling with you here. Our second to last week of October coming at you here. But my goodness, a chillier morning, a little blustery out there. Was a really windy weekend. Connor, this about as windy a weekend maybe you've experienced on the high plains, I'm guessing.
It was certainly up there. I think 2 weekends ago might have had it beat because I think we had 40-mile-an-hour gusts at one point. But
oh yeah, that's right. I was out of here. You're right. It was pretty windy, but yeah.
But this weekend definitely close. Was out at that at the Ford sales, the Ford show.
The Mustang rally.
Yeah, you could feel the wind out there. That was pretty impressive.
Well, going to be a real windy one today, and temperatures going to be in the low 60s. And we're gonna have to get a hold of Sandy and get your winter stuff sent this way. I think Mom may have to go get a box and Mom, send some stuff.
I'm handling it.
Yeah,
I got it.
You got her figured out. Send Mom a box with a return postage on it. Say, Mom, please fill with winter clothes and send back, please. Thank you. Need them shortly. It's about to get a bit chilly out here.
Right. Hey, at least I brought some pants. I'm not all shorts here, so we're good.
That's good. I think our previous guy, for a while he only had shorts, so it was a little bit chilly. But
Where's
yeah,
the khakis? Come on.
I don't know. Once again, like I said, great things and questionable things.
Oh, geez.
Where are the pants? But yes, you're definitely going to want to get your warmer clothes. I think you want to start kind of digging those out of the back of the closet this week. Looking at the weather, temperatures are going to remain in the mid to upper 60s here early on in this part of the week. But you get into Thursday and Friday, you've got some cooler temperatures and some precipitation coming your way. And temperatures just going to kind of slowly start working their way down. Looks like even into early next week, we got temperatures in the upper 50s as a high. So maybe you're starting to flip that air conditioner off and the heater on a little bit more and heating the home a little bit, heating the apartment. So
I tell you what, one quick thing before we get
love
into
it.
thing.
What do we got?
I woke up Sunday morning and something was up with my air conditioning because it was 55 when I woke up in my house. It was freezing. It was rough.
Oh, what happened?
I don't know. I think I forgot to switch the setting and I woke up and I bundled up for a little bit and finally it got back up to like 68 and then we were good.
55 in the house.
Yeah, it was nippy.
Yeah, I would say, my goodness, that is maybe you've probably slept really good, but when you woke up, you're like, whoa.
Yeah.
Whoa. 55. I'll tell you what, I have slept in some cold places and it is not my thing. I remember one time I was wearing sweatpants and a jacket trying to sleep in a place one time. It was so cold, but it's the way it is. Back in those days when you used to, go to other people's homes or stay there for a night. And my brother-in-law, we went skiing one time out there and he lives out in Colorado. We went skiing out there and he's one of those people that is very, very, I don't want to say cheap, but we'll call it cheap. He didn't turn the heat on. I mean, it was on like, probably like 55 or something like that. So it was pretty darn cold. Yeah.
You're bundled up.
You were bundled up. That is a fact. But anyway, going to be, like I said, windy today. So be prepared for that. Curtis Duncan would say it's a 2-hat day today. Windy and 62, the temperature for today. How was the weekend overall? Pretty good weekend?
I'd say so. I mean,
how was the Mustang rally there at Tubbs & Sons Ford Sales?
It was good. The people that were there were enjoying themselves. We had some good music blaring there. Had a nice little lunch too. And I mean, obviously it's a little tough to really pack it out with how windy it was. Obviously people don't want to get their cars dusted up or anything, but shout out to the people that braved the weather. And I think everyone there had a nice time. It was a pretty cool showing. I even saw, I think someone brought in like a Model T. So that was pretty interesting to see one in person.
Cool. Very cool. Classic cars. Gotta love that stuff.
Oh, yeah.
Great stuff there, man. I survived my first ever kindergarten birthday party.
Oh,
my oldest turned 6. So we had a few of her friends over to hang out. And, that was interesting.
Throwing food at each other.
No, we didn't get that far. We didn't do that. Luckily, my wife is a master organizer, and it was a great, fantastic hostess. But it was what you can only imagine, with little kids and stuff that age and that amount of energy all in one spot. Yeah, it was. It was interesting, but survived it, and we are ready to get rolling here on a Monday show. We'll have Nick Athen join us coming up here from Chiefs Blitz. We will have plenty of things to get to in the leftover. We've got postseason volleyball beginning today. I've got where everybody is playing and who's going to be in their respective quads or triangulars today. We've got state golf getting underway here momentarily across the way. So we got lots to get to the leftovers, but we kick off every single week on the Morning Blitz, as you all know, with the weekend winners and losers.
There are 2 kinds of people in this world.
There's winners and there's losers.
Which ones were which this past weekend?
I want winners.
Loser! You're a loser!
It's the weekend's winners and losers on the Morning Blitz.
Want to be a winner, be a winner.
Weekend winners. We get things going. Where are we starting things off today?
I have 3, and I've got kind of one that's split in 2. It's a half homer pick for me. Colby Eagles beat Lakin 44-23. And your Cleveland Browns beat the Dolphins 31-6. So
weekly Connor Schuh homer pick. All right.
Yes. Had to split that one in 2. Didn't want to go too much, but Colby, 2-game win streak. They're rolling right now.
That's 2 in a row. 3 is a winning streak. If you know the great Lou Brown. If you win, that's 2 in a row. You get
let us have this
a
one.
winning streak. Just get it right.
Come on.
You won 2 in a row, but just get it right.
All right, fair enough. If we beat Scott City this week, then we'll talk. And then the Browns absolutely dominated the Dolphins 31-6. It was kind of a dirty game, but it was fun.
The Dolphins are in a bad spot. They need to get rid of a lot of people. Not that the Browns are horrendous, but I love watching NFL primetime, and they had Chris Boomer. He's like, the Browns defense had a 31-point lead. They didn't know what to do.
It's true. It's true. Didn't know what to do with themselves.
Great performance, though, from Colby down at Lake. And I admit, I thought it was going to be a very close game, but Colby came out of the gates and really was on fire. Max and Smiley had 3 touchdown passes, one of them going to Cody Wright, who, by the way, had 144 yards rushing and 3 touchdowns on the ground. I just got to know, like, when the season began, why was 4 not in the backfield as the starter? I feel like when they figured out that 4 needs to be the running back, all of a sudden things clicked more for this Colby offense. I don't know why, but I just feel like that.
But they've been getting in the ball a lot more, and it's opened up the offense a little bit because now you see other guys getting open a little bit more often. And just a little quick analysis, Colby, they work the flats a lot more than they have in previous weeks. And I think there were at least 3 or 4 times a piece that Cody and then Gage Crone, specifically those 2 guys, were getting the ball in the flat, and they were doing a lot and picked up numerous first downs that really kind of helped them extend some drives. So I think that was a big part of the game.
300-plus passing yards, 3 touchdowns for Max and Smiley. Cody Wright, 144 yards on the ground, 3 touchdowns, and a touchdown reception. So Colby with a 44-23 dominant win down at Lake, and it'll be a much stiffer test this upcoming Friday on the road at Scott City for the Eagles. Speaking of Scott City, they took care of Goodland 42-22. It was an interesting game because Scott City went Goodland. Let's see, was it Goodland took the lead or no? Scott City took the ball to begin. No, I was wrong. So anyway, it doesn't matter. It was tied at 14.5. But the point was, Scott City's first drive, they just went right down the field as I described it, a hot knife through butter. I mean, they were down. They were in the end zone. Goodland responded with some really good drives. I mean, they had 3 drives that went over 8 plays or more. They had some fantastic drives, including one right before the half that got the Cowboys the game tied up at 14 going into halftime. But halftime adjustments were made by Scott City, and Goodland did not have an answer after that, and they ended up losing 42-22. I mean, Goodland scored a late touchdown there. The Cowboys, Scott City got mad at halftime because the Beavers absolutely had some big-time hits on some Cowboys, including, the Cowboys had to get to their 3rd-string quarterback before it was all said and done. And that resulted in a touchdown drive nonetheless. But the Cowboys lose on senior night 42-22. But yeah, first half looked really good for Goodland. Second half, not so much. Quickly, some other high school football scores from this past weekend. You had Wallace County remain unbeaten. They stomped Logan Palco 59. Looks like the Wildcats are going to be the top seed in their district. Weskin shut out Northern Valley 46-0. How about St. Francis holding off Hoxie? A big-time win for the Indians, 24-20. Xylis Martinez, quarterback for St. Francis, sophomore, threw for 3 touchdown passes. Good showing from him. Decatur Community beat Rollins County 52-28. Dominic Paz ran for 227 and 3 touchdowns in a losing effort for the Buffaloes. Oakley fell big to Smith Center, 59-14. Both touchdowns were courtesy of Jetworth. Jet throwing the ball. It seems Jetworth throwing it to Jance Lowry for 6 for Oakley. And then Quinter blanked at Wichita County 50-0. Shiloh shut out Tri-Plains Brewster 62-0. Wheatland Grinnell beat Greeley County 34-6, and Golden Plains with a 52-6 win over Western Plains this past weekend in high school football. So, yeah. Anyway, you have anything else to add on the Browns since you had to throw that in there in your weekend winners?
Well, Dylan Gabriel looked good in the little bit of time they actually had him throw the football because I think he only threw 18 passes, but he managed the game well, didn't make any mistakes, didn't throw any picks, although he was close to it a couple of times. And Quinshawn Judkins is the best rookie running back in the NFL.
Steve from Binkelman wants to throw in a nice shout out to the Dundee County Stratton Tigers up there in Southwest Nebraska in the regular season, 8-0, number 1 seed in Class D1. Congratulations, Tigers, on a great season. They've been a really good football program for a lot of years. Congratulations, Dundee County Stratton, winner of the weekend from Steve and Binkelman. Speaking of Nebraska, I'm going to play the homer card today because that's what I get to do. Winner of the weekend, Nebraska men's basketball. Anybody happen to see what happened? Nebraska men's basketball beat 8th-ranked BYU in an exhibition thanks to an unbelievable 16 of 32 from behind the three, including returner Rink Mast hitting 7 of 7.
He's still playing college ball?
Yep, he's got one. This is his final year. Hit his first 7 threes before finally missing one. He had 31 points to lead Nebraska to an upset exhibition. This is not, it's an exhibition. Still, though, good win against BYU. I'll take that. That was pretty fun.
I will just, for the viewers that might not understand what goes on in an exhibition game, a lot of coaches are not running their normal plays that they're going to be going with in the season, and the substitutions are a little different. So, hey, it's a win.
AJ Pantanza, the number 1 overall pick, had 30 points, but it still wasn't enough.
It's true. This is true.
So, just remember, I'm just saying, big win for Nebraska men's basketball, an exhibition beatdown of number 8. Sorry, it wasn't a beatdown. It was at one point in time. BYU came storming back at the end, but Nebraska thought it was nuts to see that happen. But winner of the weekend, Nebraska basketball. You got any other winners?
I have 2 more, so both in college football, and I think there were a lot, but I decided to go a little more under the radar, especially with this first one. South Florida, I think their win and a loss elsewhere in college football solidified them currently as the Group of 5 favorite for the playoff, because the only other team that was ranked as a Group of 5 team was Memphis, and they lost to UAB this week.
Golly.
South Florida, they took care of business against FAU 49-13, and they moved up in the rankings, I think, to 17, if I remember correctly, 18 or 17. And then they get to play Memphis this week. So then if they can win that one, that I feel like that just seals it. And then just to get to the other one real quick, BYU, they win the Holy War this year. And I'd say pretty convincingly, I got to see the tail end of that game. And I love watching Bareback Bachmeier, man. 47, that's the number he wears as a quarterback. And that dude is just a tough kid. Freshman, runs the ball a lot of QB draws and option plays with him. Just a fun team. And now BYU's kind of creeping up on Texas Tech after they lost as a Big 12 favorite.
Just like everybody predicted, BYU was going to be a top 15 team. At least that was the it was an interesting weekend in college football. Any way you want to slice it. I mean, Texas Tech lost. There was another, number 5, Ole Miss lost to number 9, Georgia. Miami lost on Friday to Louisville in a stunner. I mean, there were some really, this has been exactly what I think people want. I think this is exactly what some people wanted. They wanted the carnage, to not have these super dominant teams. And you are certainly seeing that with this past weekend in college football. Yeah, it was a great weekend. Bear Bachmeier is a lot of fun to watch, and Memphis getting beat by UAB is unbelievable. I thought about this weekend. How do you think, like, coaches, and we have seen a lot of this year in college football, coaches getting let go and then having their team respond by winning a game? Trent Dilfer, that's right. That Trent Dilfer that was the head coach at UAB. He was fired last week. And Chris Mortenson's son, Alex Mortensen, took over as the acting head coach for UAB, and they win that they upset Memphis. What do you feel? How do you feel if you're a coach? Like UCLA, when they fired their coach, and now they've rattled off 3 straight wins. They've gone from absolute obscurity to now they're going to be on Big Noon kickoff next week against Indiana. I mean,
awesome.
How do you think it feels to be a head coach in that situation when you're fired and all of a sudden your team finds it after you're gone?
Oh, if you're the fired coach. Well,
yeah, if you're the fired coach and their team finds it after you've been canned.
Well, it's probably awful, especially if you were a guy that was probably more loved by their team. And I'm going to reference a guy who in a situation, his team has not bounced back since, but like Mike Gundy, I mean, obviously those guys loved him. I think I saw some stuff like the players were doing some cool things to shout him out because they knew he was kind of just, it's his time, getting up there in age. But regardless, it's got to suck as that coach, because then when you see the team kind of go off without you, you kind of think about it in your head. You're like, all right, well, these guys must have not liked playing for me if they had this in their back pocket and they're bringing this out for the interim head coach.
Brian texts in on our FB Bank text. I don't think those coaches look back at all. They're on to the next deal, and there was some other reason why they lost.
True.
I mean, I there's no doubt they're looking to the next deal. But like Billy Napier got fired this week. What if Florida goes on and rattles off a few wins? I mean, it has to make you feel. I would think once again. Now you're getting paid a lot of money. You're making. You're James Franklin, make a ton of money. But at the same, and I look at what's happened since they fired him. I mean, it's not like things have gotten a whole lot better. But my point is, with a loss to Iowa this weekend, and they had a lead too and blew it late. But my point being, I still think, even though you're like, I've got plenty of money, I'm good. You're still thinking, boy, I put in all this time, effort, sacrifice, and we still lost. And now I leave, and all of a sudden we're good. What in the heck did I do? I would think it'd be very, very demoralizing.
Oh, yeah.
I think it'd be very, very tough. One more quick winner for me before losers. I got to give a shout out to Vlad Guerrero Jr. Vladdy had another home run in the 6-2 victory for the Blue Jays, who force a decisive Game 7 tonight in the ALCS against the Mariners. What a series that has been. Talk about two franchise. I mean, the Blue Jays haven't been in a World Series since 1993, and the Mariners have never been there. And tonight in Toronto will decide who gets to represent the American League against the unbelievable Dodgers, which, by the way, the Dodgers and Shohei Ohtani, a winner of the weekend. If nobody, and I do mean nobody, happened to see the stat line from Friday night with Shohei Ohtani, here it is for you, my friends. Ohtani gets the win. He threw 6 innings, 2 hits with 10 strikeouts and 3 walks, while in the batter's box goes a ridiculous 3 for 3, 3 runs scored, 3 homers. That was Shohei Ohtani, an MVP performance for a series in a single game for Ohtani, who did win the NLCS MVP, and deservedly so. He is the best player in baseball. It's not even close, and he's still probably only halfway through his professional career in Major League Baseball, and I'm pretty sure if he's not the best, he's one of the best all time to ever do it.
Yeah, there's already an argument that he's the best of all time, and there's an argument that his performance on Friday was the best baseball performance of all time.
How could you argue that?
There's really no
one in our lifetime, and I bet even my dad's lifetime, has seen anything like that.
No, Babe Ruth wasn't doing that in the playoffs too.
That's the only one I could even think of where home runs and strikeouts. But when Babe Ruth got really good with the bat, from what we read, he was not really pitching at that point in time.
So he's a fraud, and Shohei's the real deal. Come on.
Yeah. So anyway, it's the performance from Shohei Ohtani is absolutely nuts. But him and Vladdy Jr., winners of the weekend, just great performance. Vladdy Jr., by the way, 6 homers and just 2 strikeouts in the entire postseason at this point for Vladdy Jr. Okay, we got to get quickly into losers. What do we got for losers this weekend?
Since we're strapped for time, I'll go through all 3 quickly. So first, LSU, they lose and kind of fall into that middle tier of the SEC. They're 2-2 now after that loss to Vandy. Not looking too great for them and Brian Kelly. Then Miami, of course. I mean, Carson Beck throws 4 picks. They lose to Louisville, and things aren't looking too good. I mean, they're probably still the favorite in the ACC, but that's a big knock. And then finally, I'm sorry, but Nebraska. Not great for them. I mean, you had an opportunity to jump a little bit higher in those Big Ten standings and solidify yourself as a ranked team, but you go and lose to Minnesota. And I didn't watch a lot of the game, but it didn't look like they put up much of a fight. 24-6 was the final for that one.
Yep, I'll piggyback off that. Nebraska football was my biggest loser of the weekend. I mean, you talk about just a putrid, pitiful performance from Nebraska this past weekend at Minnesota on Friday night. Absolutely horrendous. I tell you, this is what drives me nuts. In Nebraska, when they wear the all-white uniforms, we fans call them the surrender whites. The surrender whites. And we tell everybody, and everybody jokes, don't wear the surrender whites. It's when you play horrific. When was the last time Nebraska wore the surrender whites? They wore them at Indiana and got stomped last year. So they wore them again this year against Minnesota. Guess what? You get stomped. Stop wearing the surrender whites. That would be a good starting point. Don't wear those uniforms. Wear the traditionals. Second of all, shout out to PJ Fleck. Philip John Fleck has Nebraska's number, and he's got it written all over his place because he is 7-1 against Nebraska. He knows how to beat Nebraska with pure physicality. Nebraska thinks they can be a physical football team. They don't really want to be. They should have ran the football. They didn't. They decided to throw it all the time, and their offensive line just absolutely allows Dylan Raiola to get absolutely sacked all the time. And Raiola, let's face the fact, is not that great in the pocket. He's really not. He tries to get outside the pocket instead of step up in the pocket. It was a horrific performance, and Nebraska has to go back to the drawing board because this was an embarrassing loss on national television. I did not watch anything of it, honestly. It's one of those games where it's in my DVR, and it'd be like burning the tape or burying it in the dirt. Don't want to watch it. It was horrific. Not even worth watching it. It was terrible. But Nebraska, no doubt, a loser of the weekend. That was a pathetic performance all the way around. Couldn't stop the run. Couldn't run. It's a horrendous performance. They have to go back to the drawing board. They have a lot of problems in the trenches, offensive and defensive line for Nebraska, and you don't win in the Big Ten when your trench play is that poor. That's not how you win. So, very poor. And one more loser of the weekend, New York football. I'll tell you what, it's tough. I don't care if you're a Jets fan or a Giants fan. It's a bad weekend and a bad time to be a fan. First and foremost, the Jets are horrendous. I mean, they're 0-7. Aaron Glenn, I don't even know, is Aaron Glenn going to make it past the first year as the head coach of the Jets? Because they look awful.
I don't see it.
I mean, they benched Fields for Tyrod Taylor, and it really didn't get a whole lot better as they were beat by the Panthers, which is never good. Shout out the Panthers, though. They have a winning record. I think the latest in the season. They've had it since 2019. And then the Giants. The Giants with an epic proportion failure.
Watch the end of that one.
Blowing an 8. Look, they were up. I remember looking at the score. I took a little cat nap on Sunday. I woke up to look at the score, and I was like, oh my gosh, Denver is getting pummeled by Cam Scattaboo and Jackson Dart. To only then look back at the score later to find out that they were to lose this game by Denver scoring a second most points ever in the fourth quarter of an NFL game, 33 points. They were scoreless through 3 quarters. And the Giants had an 18-point lead with 5 minutes left. They led by 3 scores with 5 minutes left, and they still lose. I'm telling you what, the New York Post is having a field day today with what happened with New York football yesterday. The Jets getting beat by the lowly Panthers and the Giants blowing an unbelievable lead in the fourth quarter. Just nuts. I don't think there's a bigger loser of the weekend than New York football. It was bad.
Agreed.
Really bad. Woo! There you go. Weekend winners and losers here on this Monday. I can't wait to hear what Nick Athen has to say on that. He's going to have something. I see that smirk on his face. He's got something in his craw. He's going to We're going to talk with Nick next from ChiefsBlitz.com. He's got a lot of positive things to think about because the Chiefs looked dominant, but man, there were some other great things in the NFL from yesterday. He'll join us next. You're listening to the Morning Blitz here on a Monday.
At Harvest, every acre tells the truth. And if you waited to see this season, you might be watching your yields slip away. Next year, don't wait and see. Know with TrivaPro. As the hardest working, longest lasting corn fungicide, TrivaPro works overtime to beat back disease, boost plant health, and preserve yield. For more bushels in the bin when it matters most. In 2026, don't wait to know. Go TrivaPro. Call your retailer today. Always read and follow label instructions.
It's Truck Month at Hurl Chevrolet GMC in Goodland. Get behind the wheel of a brand new 2026 Chevrolet Silverado 1500 with 2.9% APR for 72 months. And if GMC's more your style, you're in luck. Drive home a 25 GMC Sierra Elevation with up to $7,000 in customer cash or lock in 0.9% APR on a 26 GMC Sierra 1500. Whether it's power, performance, or pure style, Hurl Chevrolet GMC has the truck to match your drive. Visit hurlchev.com or stop by today in Goodland and make this Truck Month one to remember.
It's time for a check of the markets with the Anderson Trade Group on the Kansas Farm and Ranch Radio Network.
This is Austin Wright, the Anderson's Trade Group, in your morning market update. It is October 20th. D's corn, 422. March 26 corn, 436.5. May 26 corn, $4.45 and a quarter. D25 KC wheat, $4.90 and a quarter. March 26 KC wheat, $5.09 and a half. May 26 KC wheat, $5.24 and a quarter. November soybeans, $10.28 and a quarter. January 26 soybeans, $10.46. March 26 soybeans, $10.60. Dow Jones futures are currently up 145 points at 46,540. S&P 500 futures are currently up 30 points at 6,733. NASDAQ futures are currently up 141 points at 25,128. Gold futures are currently up $125 at 4,338. Crude is currently down 60 cents at 56.94. For your grain marketing needs or more information on our freedom pricing tools, you can reach the Kansas City office, Jared Law, Tyler Gosch, Tom Saludo at 913-748-3000. In Colorado, John Hankey and John Stiles, 970-744-4484.
The Anderson Trade Group, proud market partners with Kansas Farm and Ranch Radio. Find out more at andersongrain.com. The risk of loss through trading futures and or options is substantial, and each investor and or trader must consider whether this is a suitable investment. Past performance, whether actual or indicated, is not indicative of future results. The Anderson Trade Group has no guarantee that the advice given will result in profitable trades.
Hey, Max, you look sharp in that purple tie. Ready to harness the world as a guide dog?
You bet, Daisy. And your purple service dog vest really pops against your shiny fur.
First day on the job for both of us. We've got this, right?
You bet. Dogs Inc. trained us well.
Ready to make a difference for our humans?
Born ready.
Discover how extraordinary guide and service dog.
Farmers and ranchers, are you looking to sell your equipment at auction for zero fees and zero commissions? Well, then you need to check out Hayden Outdoors' new online equipment auction platform. You can list your equipment in our monthly online auctions using our easy-to-use platform, and you don't pay any fees or commissions. Visit HaydenOutdoors.com to learn more. That's HaydenOutdoors.com.
You're listening to the High Plains only local sports talk show.
Do you understand the words that are coming out of my mouth?
The Morning Blitz.
Coming up in the leftovers, postseason volleyball begins today. We'll tell you where area teams are competing. We'll also get you update what's going on with state golf as it gets going today as well. So we got lots to get to coming up here on the program in just a minute. Let's welcome into the show our good friend from ChiefsBlitz.com. Nick Athen joins us via the Hurl Chevrolet GMC video stream. Good morning, Nick. You got to be feeling really good today.
Man, it was great till about 6:15, and the Broncos won the game. But no, listen, for the Chiefs, that was perfect game. You know, it's I'm telling you, the NFL better collective breath today because we've now seen Patrick Mahomes play nearly 2 flawless games this season where he has not had a 4-quarter game in a really long time. And I count the 4-quarter putting the hat on as a success. You know, he didn't have to play as Gardner Minshew came in. But the Chiefs looked that was fun to watch. If you're a Chiefs fan, to see what this team has gone through, the return of Rice, how this offense can be elite again. And I've said if they can average 30-plus points a game, there's not many teams that are going to be able to beat them this year.
I got to ask, though, I mean, do you give more credit to just Kansas City's offense just coming together because of Rashee Rice and feeling whole for the first time in a very, very long time?
Yeah.
Or do you have to give credit because the Raiders are just very, very bad this year?
Well, I mean, I think the Raiders have had a lot of injuries on offense. Not as many on defense. And I think, and Pete Carroll, you know, take him with a grain of salt. He's still a good coach. He's going to be a Hall of Famer. He's won a Super Bowl. It's a tall ask to try and change the culture in the Raiders organization. From ineptitude to bad decisions, bad coaching, bad drafts, bad general managers. Not the kind of players that can compete on a week-in and week-in basis to be competitive. You know, that's a tall ask to change that culture. And it's gonna take a year or two if they give him that. You know, and then you got the Tom Brady factor, you know, kind of hovering is like Lord Jesus, you know, when is he gonna strike, you know? I give the Chiefs credit because they finally had a full complement of their offense. And I still don't think they got a great running game, though they ran for 150 this week and 145 last week. So, they're getting it done by committee, excuse me, which is fine. But I think with the Rashee Rice factor, they all sensed a sigh of relief that he was out there making plays again. I didn't think he'd play that much. I certainly didn't think he was going to score 2 touchdowns. And I certainly didn't think that his impact was going to take the offense to another gear. I thought it would help. I thought it would take some time to get integrated. But man, they went right to him, and this offense is going to be really, really scary going forward, especially if they can survive what are perceived now to be maybe a couple of injuries on the offensive line. So that's what they're going to have to deal with going forward.
Nick, I love that comment about Tom Brady. He almost being like that figure above the Raiders. Do you think there's a chance the owner/broadcaster Tom Brady and company fire Pete Carroll this year?
I think they'll give him the year out of respect. I think what you're going to see with the Raiders in the next couple of weeks, Jacoby Myers could have played yesterday, but my understanding is he's on the trade block. I think they need to first of all, they need to just let guys go. I think they should trade Max Crosby. I think he's done. When have you ever seen Max Crosby not want to play against the Chiefs? I know he had a bruised knee yesterday and everything, but if this is a close game, he probably would have been out there. And I think even he sees there's no hope for this franchise. When your best player kind of has that look on the sidelines, like, what are we doing? So I think they need to make some trades, get some draft picks, reevaluate the head coaching position. Obviously, they need a new quarterback. And that was maybe they messed up by taking Genty with a 6th overall pick. He does not look good. He does not look comfortable running the ball. He does not look. They don't use him enough, but they're not blocking for him either. So it kind of makes it kind of difficult. But the Raiders need to blow this team up, and I think that's going to start with Pete Carroll at the end of the season and start making trades now.
Nick Athen, our guest here from ChiefsBlitz.com on the Hurl Chevrolet GMC video stream. Back to the Chiefs. Like you said, it's like they went from, going down the highway at 60 to all of a sudden jumping on the Autobahn and flying down the road in just what was a game. What is it about Rashee Rice that allows them to do that? And why could no one else fill that role in the meantime to have this team be a little bit better, more consistently offensively? Because, we saw the Jaguars get pummeled by the Rams last night or yesterday in London. It was horrific. And they are a team that beat the Chiefs on Monday Night Football. So what does Rashee Rice bring that no one else could for this extended period of time?
He does one thing that no Chiefs receiver does anywhere near as good as he does. He runs those underneath routes. He runs those crossing patterns. He turns a 4 or 5 yard pass into a 9 to 12 yard gain. He uses his body for leverage, like that, the back shoulder throw. That is something that the Chiefs have never done before. And they can do that with his size and his speed and his power. But he just finds the open spaces. He's like a glorified Travis Kelce, but shorter and faster. He just knows how to run those underneath routes. He understands, where everybody else is on the field. We sit there and you watch this game and it's like, you've got Hollywood Brown, you got Xavier Worthy, you got Rashee Rice, you got Travis Kelce in single coverage. He knows his route, he knows his place, but for Patrick Mahomes they just never had that guy. Hollywood Brown couldn't do it. Xavier Worthy tried to do it, and he got smashed in week 1 by his own player. So now that he's back in the fold, they can run their full offense, and they can move a guy like Juju Smith-Schuster around. They can move Hollywood Brown. They can move Xavier. They can move all these receivers into different positions, and defenses are going to be confused. But the one common denominator with Rashee Rice is he can run those underneath routes. That is a bailout for Patrick Mahomes. That is something that he can count on. He just knows how to work that space better than any wide receiver I've seen do that in a really long time.
Nick Athen, once again, our guest here. I thought Isaiah Pacheco looked more livelier in this game. I don't know why. I know you're not a huge fan of him, but I felt like it looked like the original Isaiah Pacheco we saw from a few years ago. I'm not for sure why I thought that.
Yeah, I don't disagree with you. I think he's done a really good job the last 3 games. I guess I have to look at it this way. This is going to be a guy that's going to get you that 2 to 5 to 6 yards per carry and occasionally get a 11 or 12-yard blast. And I just have to settle for that. Even though I look at the film and I say, well, if you just bounce outside, you got a touchdown. Or if you just cut back here, you probably can run another 10 or 15 yards. That's just not who he is. So the Chiefs have decided this is what they're going to do. They're gonna put Pacheco out there in first and second down. They're gonna sprinkle in Brashard Smith, who had the most touches he's had this year, which I think is going to increase. And then you got the Rock. You gotta bash it in between the tackles, running back, and Kareem Hunt. That's going to get you that first down. So they're basically combining what they want in a running back into 3 guys. And at the trade deadline, as much as I'd love to have Breece Hall as a member of the Kansas City Chiefs, I don't think it's going to happen. So they've just decided, okay, situational running backs, occasionally give the ball to Rice, give the ball to Worthy in a run. And that's how they're going to be. And if they can average 125 to 150 yards a game, again, that's just a huge bonus for the offense. I don't care where it comes from. And again, I'm not a Pacheco fan, but I think he deserves credit. He's done a really good job the last 3 games.
Nick, when you look at the defensive side of the ball here, just one more on the Chiefs for you, but pitching a shutout in the NFL is hard to. I think I heard a stat that is the first ever shutout for Andy Reid in the regular season, which is ridiculous in his long tenure coaching career. But what is it? What is the defense like? It seemed like as if the defense found even another level yesterday with the resurgence of the offense.
Yeah, I mean, I think they only had 31 snaps or 41 snaps or something like that. So they're
the first down difference was 30-3.
Okay, 30-3.
Counts to the Chiefs to 3 for the Raiders.
Yeah, that's a pretty good day for the defense. I mean, I thought again they were shorthanded. No Bowers, no Myers. Their starting left tackle was injured. I mean, so I could see it. But I mean, the culprit is Geno Smith. He's just a terrible quarterback. And I think what the defense saw, what Spags saw this week is, okay, we're gonna play a lot of zone. We're gonna make them throw the ball. We're gonna stop Genty. That was their focus all week, and clearly they did that. And I think when you look at this, I think they gave up a total of 100 yards offense. So I think they were playing a wounded team to some degree. But I really like the approach. A guy like Charles Omenihu, who I've kind of been dogging this year a little bit, he's playing a little bit better now. He's more confident. Chris Jones, the last 2 games, what have they done? They put him back inside. They didn't bend the knee to him and say, hey, I know you want to play outside. We'll let you. No, you're going to fit the defensive scheme. So once you put him back inside, that really helped this football team, and he's been a lot more aggressive. So I think, a lot of guys got a chance to play yesterday, which is good. But I think when you look at this defense, it's really good. Now, is it Denver Bronco good in the fourth quarter of games defensively? Nah, but probably not. But with Patrick Mahomes and the ability to score 30 points a game, this defense can just kind of tee off. And I think that's what you saw yesterday.
Nick Athen, our guest from Chiefs Blitz. What do you make of that fourth quarter for the Denver Broncos coming from behind? What do you make of that one? First and foremost, to be down by 18 with 5 minutes left and find a way to win, not only is it just, but what about clock management? I mean, just ridiculous how that ended up being. I am still stunned that ended up being the way it did.
In the fourth quarter, let me put this game in perspective. In the fourth quarter, at any point, had the New York Giants gained a single first down in any drive, one more in the entire game, they win. Mathematically speaking, I'm no math major, but the clock would have run out. The fact that Denver had a chance with 2 seconds to go, like a perfect example of a team that's not coached well. What happens on that last pass play? That last pass play, The defender lets the receiver get up, get on top of him, get in his way from getting the ball to the center of the field. All perfectly legal. But no coaching. The Giants are the worst coached team. Brian Dable is an absolute disaster. But I have to give the Broncos credit. In the Eagles game, they scored 19 points in the fourth quarter. They scored 33 yesterday. That's not by accident. That's not by a lack of talent. That's like saying, okay, maybe we have this quarterback who for 3 quarters didn't play really great, but in the fourth quarter when the game was on the line, he stepped up, and that's what you want. I like Bo Nix. I've always liked Bo Nix. I think the Broncos are the team that's going to give the Chiefs the biggest test. They play in 3 weeks in an afternoon game, game of the week on CBS. It's going to be great. And what's going to happen is the Chiefs are going to blow them out of the building in the first 3 quarters, and in the fourth quarter with a minute to go, it's going to be a 3 or 4 or 6 point lead. I'm seeing it right now. I got my crystal ball rolling. It's definitely what's going to happen. But they're gaining confidence. They're having fun out there. That this was a huge win for them. Now they got to play the Cowboys, who are probably playing some of the best offense in the NFC right now. Dak Prescott looks like that quarterback again, which is shocking to me. But Brian Schottenheimer, I think, is going to be a really good head coach. So for Denver, I got to give him props. I don't understand what's going on between the first and the third quarter. They look completely out of sync. I do have, if I'm going to be honest, I think the secondary for Denver, as heralded as it has really struggled, I think, to really, shut down some teams and have been able to put some points up. But in the fourth quarter, they make the plays. So to answer your question, you were right. New York football just sucks. And if you're a New York fan of football, it just sucks. And Brian Burns, after the game yesterday, the defender for the Giants, said, "Why are we dropping 8 guys in coverage?" He wanted to attack. And, that's the problem with the Giants. They played prevent defense in the entire fourth quarter, and it cost them a game.
30 seconds here.
Yes.
Are the Indianapolis Colts the biggest threat to the Chiefs?
The Colts are, because of Lou Anarumo, the defensive coordinator. He tortured the Chiefs when he was with the Bengals. Single best coaching hire in the offseason. Completely changed the culture of the Indianapolis Colts. The former 49ers defensive tackle that's over there, I can't think of his name. Yeah, he is playing like some spirited football, and he's the pulse and the heart of that defense. And Buckner he's just a really good football player, and he's just with Sweet Lou back there, that and arguably the best running back in the NFL. That's a tough out. The Chiefs play the Colts. They host the Colts in about mid-November, or the middle of November, I think, before the Thanksgiving game against the Cowboys. They are a legit football team. What they did to the Chargers yesterday, they destroyed them. And then they kind of teased them like, well, maybe we'll let you back in the game a little bit. And then they just put the hammer down. Sweet Lou is going to be a head coach next year, thankfully. But he's been the difference. I don't care about the quarterback. I don't care about the offensive line. I don't care about the wide receiver weapons. They know how to play defense now, and that's why they're going to be a threat. And their schedule is, it is easy the rest of the way. They don't really, outside the Chiefs, I don't think they play anybody any good on the rest of their schedule. So we'll see what happens.
Nick Athen, ChiefsBlitz.com. Thank you, Nick. As always, have a great rest of the week.
All right, guys. Appreciate you. See you Monday.
Once again, great stuff there from Nick Athen. We'll take our final break, come back, and wrap things up with the leftovers here on a Monday edition of the Morning Blitz.
Looking for insurance that actually puts you first? At the insurance agency in downtown Goodland, we're independent, which means we work for you. Whether it's auto, home, crop, or business, we shop top carriers to get you the best coverage at the best price. No pushy sales, just honest advice from people who live right here in your community. Give us a call today at 785-899-5011 or stop by 1020 Main in Goodland, and let's get you covered. The Insurance Agency. Insurance the way it should be.
It's Truck Month at Hurl Chevrolet GMC in Goodland. Get behind the wheel of a brand new 2026 Chevrolet Silverado 1500 with 2.9% APR for 72 months. And if GMC's more your style, you're in luck. Drive home a 25 GMC Sierra Elevation with up to $7,000 in customer cash, or lock in 0.9% APR on a 26 GMC Sierra 1500. Whether it's power, performance, or pure style, Hurl Chevrolet GMC has the truck to match your drive. Visit hurlchev.com or stop by today in Goodland and make this Truck Month one to remember.
Traditions Restaurant in Goodland, where great taste is a tradition. Bite into juicy burgers, savor mouth-watering steaks, and enjoy service that always makes you feel welcome. Planning a get-together? Rent Freedom Hall, the perfect spot for parties, receptions, and more. Traditions Restaurant in downtown Goodland.
This fall, Hoover Lumber Ace Hardware has everything you could need. Keep your lawn strong with Ultimate Winterizer, the best defense before the frost. Warm up your evenings and create memories with a new fire pit. Or bring home the flavor with a great selection of grills and smokers from brands like Traeger, Blackstone, Green Egg, and more. And right now, the lumber prices are low, and so are the temperatures, making it the best season to tackle those outdoor projects. It's Hoover Lumber Ace Hardware with locations in Goodland and Colby. Open every day but Sunday.
Miss the weekend action?
Yes, you caught me.
No worries. We've got all the highlights and lowlights covered.
Hey, okay, well, catch me up.
This is the Morning Blitz with Ross Volkmer.
All right, we got to wrap up a show here on a Monday. Been a fun show, a full show, and still lots to get to. Some things we haven't highlighted yet. Well, Colby Community College Volleyball, and hit this real quick. They had a nice rebound win this Saturday. They beat Dodge City in 3-1, earning their 20th win of the season overall. They're 12-1 in conference play. Postseason volleyball gets going today. You've got the way it's worked, this is the second year they're doing this, and I bet we're still, at least me, I'm still trying to kind of understand as best I possibly can, but area teams will either be playing in a quad or in a triangular, with the top two teams advancing to sub-state, which will be played on Saturday around the state. But like today, Goodland will host Ellsworth, Scottsdale, and Phillipsburg. We'll have coverage of that here on Goodland's Rocket 102.5 beginning at around 3 o'clock Mountain Time with a Goodland game day and pregame. But like Colby, for example, has its difficult task. They got to go to Hoisington, where there's Beloit and Larned. That is a very tough regional there. Hoisington and Beloit are very, very good. Hoxie is at home. They had a great season. Oakley is at home, They host Hoxie, Smith Center, and Sublette. That's all actually happening at the Colby Event Center. Rollins County is at Pratt High School with the likes of Medicine Lodge, Sterling, and Waukene. Quinter will host La Crosse and Stockton in a triangular. Greeley County is a host as well against Central Plains and Ellis. St. Francis and Decatur Community are with Nest City and Osborne. That's to be played at Logan High School today. Shiloh will host Thunder Ridge in Wallace County. Weston is at Dighton and Western Plains. And Wheatland Grinnell will host Northern Valley, Golden Plains, and Tri-Plains Rooster. That's all taking place at Waukene High School. So, yes, that is the slate of local volleyball teams. Once again, I think you're going to have to finish. You have to finish in the top two of either your quadrangular or your triangular to advance to Saturday's round, where then they will take, I believe, the top two of those teams will then go to the state tournament. I think. No, actually, sorry, it's the one. The one will go, and then it's the final four there at state, I believe. So, but yeah, lots to get to today with postseason volleyball getting underway. Seasons could come to an end. Seasons could be extended today with high school volleyball, and also today it is state golf gets going across the state. We visited on Friday with the Goodland Cowgirl golf team. One of the favorites, not going to say the favorite, but one of the top favorites, I would say, going into the 3-2-1A Girls State Tournament at the Salina Municipal Golf Course. That is getting underway here in just a matter of moments. The top 6 teams, this is the thing to remember. The top 6 team scores and the individuals, not on one of the 6 teams. So the top 6 individuals that are not on one of the 6 teams that bring the 2-day field total to 54 will qualify for day 2. So if you're a team like Goodland or Colby, you need to finish in the top 6 of those teams to advance your team. If not, you have to be one of the top 6 individuals not on those teams to advance as well. So you got to be playing your best golf today, and you can't have a bad Monday. A bad Monday either results in you being done or you're completely out of the tournament. You got to have a good first day to set yourself up for a chance to win on day 2. So big day today, and wind is probably going to play a factor, I would guess. Yes. So that will be a factor today. So be prepared for a little bit of windiness. Anything else we missed in the leftovers there? We'll get to picks in the walk-off. What are we missing? Anything in the leftovers we missed?
think those are the big things. You're there.
All right, awesome. Let's get to the walk-off.
And back lifts his ball high and deep to right. How about a walk-off Brady? Thomas to the 10. Denver's going on to New England. They win it on the first play of overtime. Mahomes swings it. It's there. Hardman. Jackpot. Kansas City.
I've been dreading this all weekend because this isn't going to be pretty. What do we got? Update us on picks of the weekend.
Well, you evened the score with me all time for the year. You were 3-5 this week. I was 2-6.
Okay. What did we get right? What did we get right?
We both got Minnesota covering against Nebraska correct.
Okay. Yep.
You got Giants covering against the Broncos right.
Yeah.
And then you got to scroll a little bit.
Yeah.
And then I got Iowa winning correct. And then you got UCLA covering correct against Maryland.
Oh, gosh. UCLA. What a story.
I took the over on points, and they only scored 37 combined. Not great.
That was great. We're doing that again next week. So we'll have our regional picks, and then you get a pick, whatever it takes to get probably another like 5 or something, like to get us up to 10 picks per week. I think that's what we're going to do. We'll have 10 picks a week.
Let's get to 20.
You want to get to 20? Oh my gosh, that's a lot of time.
10 is enough.
10 is plenty of picks. Trust me. For how good we're picking, 10 is plenty good enough.
Might as well just have one at this point.
So what is our record now at this point in time of the season since we're tied?
We're both 12-17.
12-17.
Not great.
Not great. We're not even in the black. We're in the red. Losing money, folks. Oh, man. Well, like I said, busy day today in local sports. Great Monday Night Football game tonight. There are 2, but a great one tonight, I would think, between the Buccaneers and the Lions on Monday Night Football. And, of course, a decisive Game 7. We'll get out of here on this. Who you got winning? Game 7, Blue Jays, Mariners.
Give me the Jays. They're hot. They're at home. And they have Shane Bieber on the bump.
Yeah, I saw George Kirby has 11 earned runs allowed, I think, so far, either in this postseason or in this series. I'm not liking it. Give me Biebs. And
he's had a rough time.
The Blue Jays, I think, take it and go on to face the Dodgers. So that does it for the program. Don't forget Goodland Cowgirl Volleyball on the airs tonight, starting at around 3 o'clock Mountain Time. We'll see you tomorrow here on The Blitz.
Classic rock plays here. This is Rocket.